This is Laura Trump coming to you live from the Toyota Center in Houston, Texas. We are on a Facebook Live broadcast on the President's Facebook page, so thank you for joining us. Is everybody here in the crowd excited about the President coming today? There is so much to be excited about when it comes to President Donald Trump, and we have a lot to talk about today. We have some midterm elections coming up that are so important. This president has the economy back on track. He has put America back as first in the world. We are respected again as a country. We have so much to talk about today, and I want to introduce my first guest, who some of you might know from the 1st Congressional District of Texas, Representative Louis Gohmert. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you, Laura. It is wonderful to be with you and to be with all these friends.
How's everybody in Texas doing today? I love it. Now tell me a little bit about this crowd. This crowd has been here all night.
They've been here all night. I got here last night about 9:30, 10, and folks were here. They were lined up. But unlike so many of the Democrat events, there wasn't trash on the streets. There were people acting orderly. Nobody was beating up anybody else. It was just a magnificent group of Texans. Although I've met some folks from other states, a guy from Wyoming just a moment ago. People are coming in from all over. They love the president. They love what he's trying to do, although Congress hadn't given him the kind of help that we should have. But that's going to change pretty quickly because of the way we see people turning out. We're going to make sure there is no blue wave. It's a red wave. It's going to help the president keep making America even greater.
Now, Louis, I want to talk to you about something. We are in Texas, and we know everything is big in Texas. Are paychecks bigger for people in Texas thanks to President Donald Trump?
I'm hearing that from people all over the state. Talking to a guy the other day that's into, he sells memorial stones for cemetery plots and stuff. And I said, I'm kind of afraid to ask. I'm hearing everybody else say their business is better than ever, going great. How's your business going? And is it because more people are dying? He said, it's going great, and it's not
I hope it's not because more people are dying.
It's not because more people are dying, he said, but they're able to buy better cemetery stones for their loved ones. So even from cars to homes, we're hearing great reports. And I'm telling you, Laura, we had a lot of people in Congress that did not have the will to cut taxes like we needed to. And if we had had a different president, I just don't think that we would have had the push that we got with President Donald J. Trump. He was not going to take no for an answer.
My papers are flying everywhere. It's live.
We got a tax cut bill through, and even though Pelosi, to a multimillionaire like her, it were crumbs, but for Texans, we said, God bless those crumbs. They're wonderful.
Oh, you have some fans back here. So let's talk about
And it's not me. I'm always accused of too much wind, but that's not my
That's
word.
not you. Let's talk about the midterms. There's so much at stake right now in these midterm elections. Let's talk about what is at stake if the Democrats take control of the House and Senate. What will it mean to all the forward progress we've seen from the president, all these incredible things that have happened in less than 2 years under President Donald Trump? They're all at risk for going away, right? Tell me about what could happen if the Democrats get a hold.
All of the good will be going away. The investigations that we've started and have not completed, they will stop, and the investigations will turn, and they will become part of this witch hunt. But let me just tell you, Laura, I've talked to hundreds of people out here this morning already, and there are so many people out here that were praying for Donald J. Trump to be our president. And as I've told so many of them, look, we've been given a reprieve, but America has not been saved from the slide that we were experiencing for the last 8 years in the last administration.
I actually always say that it felt like we fought a war in 2016, right? We won that battle, but the war
war's still
is
going
far
on.
from over.
That's
so
right.
that's why everybody has to get out and vote in the midterm elections.
Laura,
it
if
is
they
so
don't,
important.
if they don't, and we were to lose the House, frankly, we're done. The form of government we know would it'd be
They've
gone.
said they're going to take back the tax cuts, right?
Right.
The crumbs tax cuts.
They want the crumbs
they're
back
done with
in
that.
the federal. And by the way, I know the president knows, because we've talked about it, but they said we couldn't afford the tax cuts because we got to keep that revenue stream going. And under President Trump, this year, we have had more federal revenue, in other words, other people's tax money, coming into the federal treasury more than any time in this country's history. So instead of the tax cuts cutting the amount of money coming to the federal treasury, it's increased it dramatically. And obviously that's a result of the economy doing better. But reporters constantly ask, well, how are we going to make up all that money? Because they think it just, you cut taxes by a percentage. That's how much CBO, the Congressional Budget Office, says you'll lose in revenue. And I think Phil Graham once said, the problem with CBO is if you ask them how much federal revenue would we bring into the Treasury with a 200% income tax, they would dutifully tell you that we'll bring into the federal Treasury twice as much as everybody makes, because they don't deal in reality.
Right.
The reality is, anytime we've had a major cut, I'm not talking about the dinky little cut there toward the end of the George W. Bush years. I'm talking about a sizable cut like President Trump led on. The economy's always done better. So it's been a great time to be a Texan. And let me mention, if I could,
I want to ask you, give me your assessment of President Trump. What do you think he's doing well? Tell me what you think about anything in our recent news that you've been thinking about.
Well, first of all, the thing he did well on foreign affairs, and I told him this 2 years ago, September 2 years ago. I said, you know, I know you're a brilliant guy, but historically, the presidents that have been perceived as being intellectual, whether it was Woodrow Wilson or going back John Quincy Adams, we're told Roosevelt was very intelligent. Kennedy, very smart. Carter was supposed to be a nuclear engineer. They were the worst presidents when it came to foreign diplomacy. They were the worst. And if you look at the people that got the most accomplished, Teddy Roosevelt was considered to be a little bit crazy. Ronald Reagan, they kept saying he was crazy. And I said to then candidate Trump, if you remember, Saturday Night Live had Reagan walking around with his finger out saying, "Where's the red button? I want to launch some missiles."
Gotta love Saturday Night Live, by the way.
Well, I haven't watched it in so long since it's not funny anymore. But I said the thing is, it helps a president in foreign diplomacy to be considered to be a little bit crazy. And he said, well, that's what they're saying about me. And I said, mark my words, that's why you will be one of the best presidents in the history of the country
Got that
on
right.
foreign diplomacy. And he has been, because people have learned when he says we're going to put a tariff on, unless you work out a deal with us on trade.
He means it.
He means it.
Yep.
And you either do a trade deal with us that's fair, which we hadn't had, and are starting to get now because of his leadership. But Laura, I got a little insight back during the Bush administration. I asked a U.S. trade rep, Republican, I said, this deal you worked out, it's better for the other folks than it is for the United States. And he said, Louis, you got to understand, when it comes to trade deals, the way Republicans and Democrats both look at it from our position in the White House, we know we're the greatest economy in the world. So if we do a trade deal that's more beneficial to another country, then in the end it comes back and helps us. And I went, That's crazy.
Makes zero sense.
No, that's crazy. If it's better for another country, it hurts us. We need to have mutual deals. And until President Trump, we were not getting good mutual deals. And now we're starting to get those and see those. And I really appreciate his being an incredible diplomat on the issue of Saudi Arabia. I keep being asked about the immigrant caravan, but I want to make this point. It is so critical. We had a weak president in Jimmy Carter, nice enough guy back then, but there was a Shah of Iran that had some blood on his hands. He demands his ouster, and he welcomed the Ayatollah Khomeini as a man of peace. He used those words. Millions and millions of people have died and suffered as a result of Jimmy Carter pushing out a guy who was problematic, but it opened the door for the worst ever. You had President Obama dealing with Gaddafi, who had blood on his hands, but he drove him out. Without Obama's bombing, Gaddafi stays in. But because he drove him out, North Africa's in chaos. And our ally in Egypt, under President el-Sisi, they are getting attacked because of Libya being turned over to the crazies by President Obama. So his not rushing to judgment on Saudi Arabia is not playing into the hands of the Muslim Brotherhood like they're hoping and like the left-wing media is hoping. He's doing exactly right. He's the ultimate diplomat on this stuff, and I'm proud of him and Mike Pompeo both. They're really doing a good job.
They're doing an excellent job.
They're doing a terrific job.
Louis, thank you for being here with us today. Thank you for
Laura,
welcoming us into Texas.
I'm here in Texas, so I'm here anyway. But God bless you. Thank you for being here.
Thank you
Don't
so
we
much.
love Laura Trump, y'all.
Thank
God
you.
bless
Great
you.
to
Thank
talk with you. We'll
Laura.
see you at the rally.
Looking forward to it.
Awesome.
Thank you.
So now next up, taking the microphone is my good friend and one of the greatest spokeswomen for President Donald Trump, Katrina Pearson. Come on down, Katrina.
Hello.
Hi.
Everyone.
I haven't said hi to you yet. Come on and have a seat.
Thank you. Well, how could you? Look at all of these
Amazing.
people.
Amazing deplorables out here today, ladies and gentlemen. How about this crowd? Have you seen excitement like this in Texas before, Katrina? You are from Texas.
It is Texas.
Correct.
So I have to say that I knew that if anyone was going to show up and present for Donald J. Trump, it would be Texas.
You got that right. And here they are. Everybody's here. Now, this is not what the Democrats would expect to see, because you see, Katrina, they keep saying there's going to be a blue wave. Do you think the tide has turned and it is swinging in the favor of the GOP and the Republicans right now?
Well, Laura, there's no question. There might have been a little blue blip, right?
We'll call it a blip.
We have President Trump. We've lowered taxes. Unemployment's at record lows. So people are happy. But now we see Democrats once again showing everyone who they are.
Their true colors are coming out.
And so Republicans aren't going to have it anymore. We have an opportunity in this midterm election to show the country that we stand with our president and we want an America First agenda.
Now tell me about what we have seen from the Democrats, because by the way, folks, if anybody had any question about what would happen if the Democrats got a hold of the House and Senate, look at the Kavanaugh confirmations, right? That was the most disgusting display I've ever seen. And that is a true signal. We cannot have that in control of our country.
No, I agree, Laura. Look, the Kavanaugh display really showed you the heart of the left. They fundamentally tried to not just destroy a good man who has built a legacy of fighting for our founding principles, promoting women and empowering them, but they went after to attack some basic fundamental principles of being an American, and that is due process in this country.
Guilty until proven innocent is the way they've seen it, right?
It's beyond amazing, but you know what? It backfired. Because at the end of the day, Americans understand and know the value of what it means to be in America, the value of what it means to being in a country where you are innocent until proven guilty.
Absolutely. Now, we do have the midterms coming up. There is a candidate named Beto O'Rourke who has been portrayed by the media, Katrina, as a rock star. But I don't know that he truly stands for Texas values. What are your thoughts?
Is his name really Beto? I thought it was something else. Look, no, this guy is not a rock star. He's a poser like most other liberals in this country. And by the way, Donald Trump is bringing out 100,000 Americans in my state of Texas. Beto O'Rourke, Hillary Clinton, and Willie Nelson combined could not pull out this crowd.
Everybody's here for Donald Trump, right? Now, in case anybody here did not know, early voting starts today in Texas. Katrina, what do you want to say to the voters that are going out to the polls right now?
Look, it is so important to me to vote in this midterm because so many people don't vote in midterms, and it's crucial today. I flew to Texas, stayed home for the weekend. I got up early this morning. I went out and cast my ballot this morning in Dallas for a straight Republican ticket.
Excellent.
Flew down here to Houston. So I would just want to encourage everyone, don't just go out and vote, Laura, because here's the key. You have the left, and they've been paying people, and they've been drumming up all of this blue wave nonsense. But we can put an end to that for good, because so goes Texas, so goes the nation, and we have to show up in droves to stomp out this madness. So get your friends, your family, your coworkers,
Take
your
your
extended
neighbors.
family, and vote.
Get them out to vote. It's the most important thing that we could be doing right now. Katrina, thank you for joining us.
Great
you
to
are,
be here,
you
Laura.
are one of the greatest spokeswomen on the planet and one of my good friends, and we love having you up here. Ladies and gentlemen,
Thank
Katrina
you.
Pearson, thank you so much.
And welcome to Texas.
Thank you. Now, next up, I believe we have someone that Texans will also know. Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick is joining me on stage. There he is. Hello. Take the microphone. You guys know this guy, right?
Welcome to the greatest Republican political event in the history of the state of Texas. Hey, Laura, how are you?
Hi.
Good to see you.
You too. Thank you. Have a seat.
Yeah, the last time I saw you, and you do so many events, I'm sure you would not recall, you were in Midland with Eric, and I was giving a speech, and you came up to say hi to everyone, and I just said, here, take the mic and the podium. You guys are great. You remember?
Did we kick you off the stage? I hope not.
They hear me all the time. They don't get a chance to hear you all the time, so it's good.
Well, I want to say thank you for the great welcome to Texas. We are so excited about this crowd. By the way, 100,000 RSVPs for this event today, Dan. That's incredible.
Do
you think they'll report about it on the fake news outlets?
The smug elite that live in the Northeast and in California, where the smug elitist Democrats and liberal media live, this pains them. Because when the president said, I'm going to fill up the biggest stadium in Texas, which is about 100,000 people, they said he could never do that.
Yep.
Had we had a stadium, which we can't because it's football season, you can't turn it around for security and get it set on a Monday. Had he had the largest stadium, we would have filled it.
You got
This is
that
Texas.
right. Absolutely. I have no doubt. Now, Dan, obviously we're in Texas here.
Yes.
We have this issue on the border. The president has tweeted about it, the caravan. Give me your thoughts about that, and why is this something that we all need to be paying attention to right now?
Well, the president won his election, I think, on two issues, and that was border security and the Supreme Court. Other issues, but those were the two key issues. And he's been right on this from day one. There was just a poll out yesterday that 79% of Republicans, nearly 50% of Democrats and independents support securing the border. You look at this group of now 7,000 people coming here. They're just going to barge down these barriers? I mean, no, we can't allow that to happen.
It's not how this country works.
In Texas, Lara, we have, in the last 7 years, recorded several 100,000 crimes committed by illegal aliens. Now, not everyone that's coming is a criminal, but a lot of the criminal element, the MS-13 gangs, they're all part of that. And for those who are coming here for a job, we need legal immigration reform because we cannot educate, medicate, and incarcerate the whole world. We today in Texas, we have 6 million students in our schools, and about 1 out of 5 is not proficient in English. That's a tremendous expense for the state to have that many bilingual teachers. And you look at our healthcare system, our emergency rooms, taking jobs away from American citizens. And this is not just a Republican or an Anglo issue. It's a Democrat, and it's a Hispanic issue. We just had, Lara, a month ago, we elected the first Hispanic Republican in the history of the state to the Texas Senate in a seat that the Democrats have held since 1879.
Fantastic.
In a seat that is 66+% Hispanic, based on the big issues of pro-life, secure border, lower taxes. This is a big issue election, and everyone gets it in America. They all get we have to stop people from coming into this country.
But Dan, the reality is that if they wanted to, the Democrats could have worked with the president a long time ago to fix a lot of what we see happening at the border, right?
The Democrats could have fixed it when Obama was president, and they had
That's true.
control. They have no interest in sealing the border and protecting American citizens, protecting American jobs. And this is humane to these people coming.
Right.
So many. Today, the drug cartels are in charge of the Mexican border. If you do not pay them, you don't cross. If you're a woman, there's a high chance you will be sexually assaulted. If you're a child, you could be put into sex trafficking. This isn't good for anyone wanting to come here. People should have to come here in dignity and not live in the shadows, not in the back of an 18-wheeler. That's what Republicans stand for. The Hispanic voters in Texas get it. Greg Abbott and I got 50% of the Hispanic vote 4 years ago with a strong border message. People all over the country, black, white, brown, independents, Republicans, and many Democrats understand this cannot continue. And the Democrats like Pete Schumer, Nancy Pelosi, Charles Schumer, and Nancy Pelosi are the ones letting this happen.
Absolutely. They like to play it another way, but we all know the reality. Now, we have, Dan, these midterm elections coming up.
Yep.
What is at stake for Texas communities and communities all across the country if the Democrats get a hold of the House and Senate?
Well, the Democrats will, if they don't move to impeach the president,
we know they probably will.
Which they probably will. But even if they don't, they will hold hearing after hearing after hearing, investigating one issue after the other issue. This great economy that the president has helped unleash by letting the business sector grow and prosper, by cutting regulations, cutting taxes. That's what makes an economy grow. It will come to a grinding halt. The stock market will start to come down and not go up. People's 401k plans will start to come down and not go up. The Democrats they want to undermine the president. They want to undermine the Constitution. They want to undermine the country. They have moved to a socialist party. And Beto O'Rourke, who his initials stand for border enforcement totally optional. He wants to abolish ICE. He doesn't want a secure border. He wants higher taxes. Go down the list. He wants more abortions. Go down the list. They will take everything the president has accomplished through the hard work of the American people and turn it on its head and push us backward. I don't think at the end of the day the American people are going to allow that. They see through this. The Kavanaugh hearings, this mob coming up, crossing the border, the mobs on the streets of Portland.
It is
jobs
jobs versus mobs. Oh my gosh,
Absolutely.
that happened simultaneously.
Yes.
We didn't plan it.
Yes.
It's so true. What are you saying, Dan, to independents in Texas who might not know how they're going to vote about getting out to vote and who they should be voting for?
There's no question that the independent vote is important all across the country and in Texas. There are a couple of things that they just need to ask themselves. Is the American economy and the Texas economy as good as it's ever been in their lifetime? And the answer is yes.
Got that right.
Does everyone they know have a job? Yes. Are their savings worth more today than they were before? Yes. In Texas, we're now the 10th largest economy in the world. We're bigger than Russia, the United States, on every level. You know, the president's defeated ISIS and run them out of the Middle East. The media
when is
doesn't
the
talk
last
about
time
it.
we heard about ISIS,
Right.
by the way?
Yeah. No,
We
President
haven't.
Obama said it would take a decade, and they may always be there. So for independent voters, don't get locked down in one or two issues that you may not agree with. Look at the big picture. It's a big choice election, as Newt Gingrich and the president and I've been talking about. It's a big choice election. Open borders, secure borders. Take your guns, protect the Second Amendment. More abortions, including late term, more pro-life. Better prosperity, more jobs, less taxes, or fewer jobs, bigger government, higher taxes. Every issue you go down, that's why an independent voter, don't let all the personal stuff that goes back and forth and whatever candidate you're following, throw all that out. which country do you believe, which party do you believe is Texas and the country in better hands? And it's clearly the Republicans.
Well, and we can actually take a note from the 1980s,
Yeah.
and we can ask ourselves, are you better off today, and
Right.
do you think the country is better off today than it was 2 years ago before President Donald Trump took office? If you think it's better, you have to get out and you have to vote Republican because we have to continue this trend. The most important thing we can do. Dan, I want to ask you, what do you expect at the rally tonight? What are your expectations here?
Well,
It's going to be a big one.
First of all, I have the great honor of speaking before you.
Oh, fantastic.
So it's Governor Abbott, Senator Cornyn, myself, and you. So that's a great honor
Thank you.
to speak with you on the stage. I expect it to be a fun evening. First of all, people are excited to be here. This is a phenomena that they've never seen in their lifetime.
They don't understand it because they still have gotten it wrong. They still don't get it. They still do not understand why Donald Trump won.
Yeah.
Here we are today,
Here we are.
100,000 people.
100,000 people. Who could have gotten in? About 20,000 will get in. We'll have thousands more outside. But again, on Friday, we had, as you said, close to 80,000 requests for tickets. So tonight, first of all, it's going to be fun. It's going to be talking about our Texas values, Republican conservative policies, the president's agenda, the threat to our country from Pelosi and Schumer if they're back in charge. And I have no question that we're going to add seats to the Senate. And I have no question we'll keep the House. And in Texas, I have no question Ted Cruz is going to win. And we'll do very well in Texas and continue to be a red state. But we have to fight every day for every vote. We started early voting today in Texas.
Today, get out and vote.
Long lines. People are showing up to vote from both sides. Excuse me. And in the Pete Flores race, I mentioned the first Hispanic Republican elected to the Texas Senate in San Antonio, in a district, again, held by Democrats since 1879. What was fascinating about that is everyone knows when we had a special election because the Democrat left office. So 7 people ran in July. There were 26,000 votes cast. It was the middle of the summer. In almost every runoff, fewer people turn up in the runoff than they do the first time. This time in the runoff, 44,000 people, almost twice as many that turned out. And there were more Republicans in a Democrat district that turned out than Democrats. And what that tells me is the turnout's going to be very high. I expect maybe 1 million more voters than 4 years ago when Governor Abbott and I ran and Cornyn was up at that point as a senator. I expect 1 million more votes, and I expect us to win by a large margin in Texas because of all of these people here, all these people watching, and all these people across our state who are not going to let the blue wave, even get to shore.
Not even close.
Not even close.
Lieutenant Governor Dan
Clara,
Patrick,
great to
thank
be
you
with you.
so much for joining us
I'll see you
today.
later tonight.
We will see you in
Yes,
there.
I'll see you later tonight.
Thank you. All right, so coming up next, we have, thank you, we have a real treat. Has anybody heard of the Deplorable Choir?
I've heard of them.
Well, let me tell you, if you haven't heard of them, you're going to know them now. Ladies, come on stage. Come on over.
How are you?
Hi. Welcome.
They gave us some pom-poms.
All right, I need everybody. Hello. Everybody needs to introduce themselves.
I'm CJ. Yes, here. I'm Val. And I'm Lindsay. We're the Deplorable Choir.
Now, I love the hats. Excellent choice. And I know it's the real hat because it's got the green underneath. That's how you know,
They're
folks,
the
by the
real
way.
made in America
Real
thing.
hats. Why do you guys love the president so much? You've been such incredible supporters. You tweeted me online, by the way,
I know.
and I said, we've got to get them to a rally. What better rally than right here in Houston, Texas?
This is huge. This is epic. This is amazing. And why do we love the president? The same reason everybody does. He continues to win. He works for the American people. Everybody loves him.
Now, you guys have some pretty amazing lyrics. How do you come up with them? Do you write them together? How does this all work?
Yeah, it's a combination, but the liberals never quit giving us material, and it's so fun.
They make it easy.
It's so fun, and one of the songs we're going to be singing for you, we wrote because we were sick of the names people call the deplorables, like Hillary Clinton giving us the name. We will
Which
thank
is
her
such
for
a
that.
compliment now, by the way,
I
to be
know,
called
right?
a deplorable, right?
I know, we're like, we'll thank
We
you for
like
the
it
name,
now.
and that's all. But, and we were like, we're going to set the record straight. We're going to say who the deplorables are. We're amazing people. We love God. We love family. We love our troops. What's bad about that? Nothing. We're proud of it. So we like to write about what's going on, and we like to be fun and goofy and make people laugh. And
Well, you guys are awesome. You also feature kids in your videos.
oh yeah,
Who are these kids?
they're our kids.
Oh my gosh! Even better. Even better. Do they love it? Do they understand how great the president is? Have you guys told them?
Oh yeah. Trump. Oh yeah, they know exactly who he is. Except for my daughter did walk by a picture of Arnold Palmer the other day and said, "Oh look, it's President Trump." And I was like, "No." I'm
Sorry,
failing
we'll get her
as a mom.
straightened out. We'll get her. How old is she?
She's 4.
We'll forgive her. She's 4. You guys are actually going to sing for the president tonight. Tell me how excited you are.
Oh, we are so excited. We are. I mean, thank y'all for having
yes,
us. This is,
yes.
Well, it's so amazing to be a part of this. You can feel the energy. Yeah. Hallelujah.
All right, now what song are you singing for us today?
Our song, Damn Deplorable.
All right, are we ready to do it?
Oh, heck yeah.
All right, take it away.
Okay, let's do it. Can we get in front of the table?
Yeah, go in front of the table.
And y'all, when you hear us say raise your hand if you're proud. We love God and family. We support our troops through everything. And you can bet your life we stand for our flag. We back the blue and the NRA. We are pro-life and American-made. Raise your hand if you're proud to be damn deplorable. Yeah.
Love it, ladies.
Well, if that sounds bad, then bad's what I wanna be. To the bone, can you tell me what's so wrong about loving my great country? Yeah, standing behind our president is where you'll find us at. With a bless your heart and a gun on our side and our MAGA hats. Well, we love God and family. We support our troops through everything. And you can bet your life we stand for our flag. We back the blue and the NRA. We are pro-life and American-made. Raise your hand if you're proud to be damn deplorable. Ain't about black and white or where you're from, 'cause you can't see color if you're covered in mud. Only color I see is red, white, and blue. Won't you sing it loud if you're deplorable too? Well, we love God and family. We support our troops through everything. We got Trump 2020 on the back of our pickup trucks. We back the blue and the NRA. We are pro-life and American-made. Raise your hand if you're proud to be damn deplorable. Raise your hand if you're proud to be damn deplorable. Yeah.
Let's hear it for the ladies, everybody.
Get some deplorables out there.
Thank you, guys. That was
you.
amazing.
Thanks.
So we are going to see you in the rally right
will.
before the president, right?
Yes.
What are you singing tonight?
We are singing the national
The
anthem.
best song in the world, the national anthem.
So
Ladies, thank you
excited.
for joining us. Great to meet you all. We will see you in there.
Yes, thank you for having
you
us.
very
This was
much.
so fun. Here you go.
Thank you. All right, everybody. Well, that is our show for today. Thank you for joining us. Remember to tune in here at 6:30 p.m. Central, 7:30 p.m. Eastern to see President Donald Trump at another great MAGA rally. Thanks for joining us, everybody.